Watching the recording. Welcome to the weekly live stream recap. I'm gonna do it a day earlier because I want to have some family time tomorrow, and I thought it's also wise to maybe try out a different time because it seems like on Saturday morning people are not that committed or not awake or whatever, and I'm gonna do a poll today, which time is best. I like to do it at the end of the week, but I don't like to do it like on Saturday evening or something because you won't believe it, but I have a life as well. So Saturday morning is actually perfect for me, but it's obviously not very helpful if nobody can join the live stream. So yeah, I probably switch the time to something that is like better for people. Maybe even Monday. But I always thought like weekend is better because people usually have to work, and so I thought weekend. But I do a poll with 2 different options, and then I let people decide which is best, so that more people can join live. Yeah. So I would say we start right away. Yeah, Altstockseason is in full play. 40% in what, like a week? Not even a week. And it's not even a penny stock or something. I mean, this is on good volume. It's on significant volume. And I like the narrative. I don't know, no fucking clue what this company does, but it's pumping. And it reacts to the levels. It's actually one of the few stocks that is really reacting to hidden stuff. A very high time frame hidden stuff on stocks usually works kind of well, but oftentimes it doesn't. So I usually just go for supply and demand. But this one like reacted almost perfect, and also the trend line, as usual, trend lines and stocks are also very perfect. And we have something very interesting here. Also, I like those trend lines. Like you have this crazy dump into a level, and then I just define, okay, good, the trend is breaking, and I added. So I bought here, but once this broke here, I added more, and it. I know from a friend of mine, he was actually waiting for the 618 to be taken. Did I move this? No, I think he was waiting for this, and it never came, obviously. And so those trend lines can be very helpful. We have a similar situation here because we have this big demand area, and you guys can see how slightly it only touched this level, just because demand was very strong. Somebody knew, obviously, that this is going to happen, and it was not just me. And so I don't want to wait for the level to be fully taken or for the 0.5 or whatever, because as said, getting front run is usually not that nice. And so I define those trend lines, and I just say, okay, good. So once this, it's no guarantee, right? But look at, if I remove this, how perfect this reacted. And I would not trade around this trend line itself. So I don't really care about taking setups around the trend line. But I wanted to take a trade in this demand, and I started adding a little bit here. And I was very cautious because obviously it's a very big level and you don't want to buy too much already, and then it dumps another 20%. And so I waited for the trend to change. And you see how those highs never got taken. And once they got, we are already 60% higher. But with this change in momentum, I would call it, because change in trend, change in momentum, call it what you want. It's a trend line break, even though it's a bad word in our community. I know trend lines are usually not that loved. But you see how perfectly it grinded down on the trend line, and I added back within this area again. And then I TP'd on the way up. I added back. I TP on the way up, and I do this on the stock. I do this since April. I mean, look at this, and then I TP'd 85%, and I added all of it almost back. I TP'd on the way up, I added on the way down, I TP'd on the way up. And look, this kind of compounding, it's so easy, it's so simple, it basically takes no time at all. And I played them pretty wide. You see my stop loss is here by now of all of my positions. And so when I added back, I did not share a setup or a chart box or anything, but once I added back here, my invalidation is obviously here. Why? Because the demand is lost, this little demand, and then in my view was, should we lose the weekly level? Should we lose this? Should we lose the 618? The next logical point is this low. And I don't want to hold the whole bag for this. And I can always add back like I did here. Like I TP'd 45% here, and I TP'd 40% on this breakdown. And yeah, it could have been 15% better, right? But who the fuck cares? I mean, I bought here. So yeah, it's, oh my God, it's a little less. And I did 80% and I added all back, and then now I TP again. And I do the same thing over and over and over until like it doesn't work anymore, until the macro thesis tells me and the market trend tells me it's over. And Mara is doing well, by the way, as well. Obviously, crypto doing well, Mara does well. Yeah, TP'd here. Did not get stopped at break even. This is like your typical crypto move where you get stopped at break even and then it moves higher. Did not happen on Mara. So again, got a lot of stocks. And you see, I was talking about this last week, like the make or break point. Like, so very simple. We have a horizontal, so it was here actually. It was on Thursday, Friday. Why is the trend line so off? Did I move it or something? Yeah, so we never closed below the trend line. We never closed below this low. But we hit it, and I said it's make or break for me. I was at 50% cash because I trade risky stuff. You guys see, it's very volatile, so I always keep a good pile of cash, and I always keep my risk in check. But I TP'd like within here on my biggest plays and on gold. Gold is my biggest position and everything. So I had around 50% cash. But once I saw we react from here and we do not break it, I bought Moderna, for example. It's 8% up since then. It's still a higher time frame idea. I don't really care about this whole move down here. I could consider like TPing at this high, but it's pretty much, it's the same kind of setup, right? We have higher time frame demand and higher time frame discount. We break the structure here, like the trend line, not to the upside, but we grind our way out of it. And so the next logical point of interest to me is at least the supply, or even this, like all of like this big gap here. So this is like a magnet, right? So we're definitely going to see this gap filled at some point. Is it going to happen within this cycle? I don't know, but it will eventually, and it's a good company. It's not like your shitcoin your typical shitcoin where you think about, or where you need to think about it, is it rugging or not? Moderna won't rug, most likely. And so I can hold this with a little more like safety or security, or whatever the word is. But obviously I'm not going to be a bag holder. I'm not really interested in this company. I don't even know what they do. It's like, I mean, it's a mad company, and obviously they sold the vaccinations and everything. I know all of that, so I know the narrative, but I don't really care about the fundamental numbers, the earnings, and all this crap. Not interested at all. I just see the chart and I say, okay, it's higher time frame discount. It's acyclical, so ever since it topped in 21, it did not really perform well, obviously. And so it's acyclical, similar to Nike, which also ever since 21 is going down. So it's acyclical. So, and you have those stocks that outperform in the bear market. So last time it was Coca-Cola, for example, and McDonald's in the bear market, if you remember. Which did not that bad in 2022. And so you have those stocks that are moving acyclical and that are still in discount. And I try to accumulate such companies and, oh, wrong one, and make them profitable along the way, like locking in probably some gains here and then trailing it higher as high as I can, but never going to be back holding. So should like the whole market top, and again, back to the SPX, should we like break this trend line, break horizontal structure, showing signs of tops, and should people stop telling me every week that the market needs a correction? I will probably like build more cash on those positions, regardless of where we are. So even if Moderna is not reaching my best case target, I'm gonna build cash on this one, because it's just very simple investment stuff. The higher we go, the more cash we build. The lower we go, the more asset we build. And you can do this like even on risky stocks, as I've shown here. But obviously you need a lot more management and emotional control for trading something like this, because I mean, even though I am emotional a little bit about this pump, because I mean, obviously it's amazing and I'm very happy about this, but it does not affect my decision, right? So I still just lock in a gain here. Should we shift momentum, I lock in more gains. I have a similar play, which is also pumping to this. It's at 40% almost. Actually, it's hitting supply. It's good that I look because the alarm, did it go off? I think if it did, I missed it. It's up 40% on the day. And so it's 150 since I bought it. And you see, it's moving so aggressive. I mean, obviously, we maybe have a way to go on this one. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we go for those highs. Maybe not. And I'm not the one who wants to find it out on full size. So I'm definitely going to TP here again. Probably right after the stream. Let's see what it does. It's probably better if I do it right away. Yeah. I think on a 40% pump, I should do it right away. Because this thing nukes as fast as it's pumping. Just give me a second. And yeah, it's going for supply again. What was it? Like something very high. Oh, did I mess up the box? Oh. No. What was it? Why is the box so odd? Did I maybe move the box? Should this be this one? Ah, yeah, it's actually the exact size. Why is this chart so messed up? It's the exact size of this block. Yeah, I guess it was this one. Makes more sense because here's actually nothing. But I will TP regardless. I mean, a 40% pump on the day, even for this stock, is huge. Yeah, it was this one. Yeah, so as said, I'm going to TP on this one regardless. And it nukes as fast as it pumps. I could trade it more or less like I do with QBT, but I don't have like the data to back this up because I trade QBT for a longer time, so I know how it behaves, like how it likes to front run demand and everything. And this one reacted almost perfect to the 0.5 here, which is good to know. But there wasn't not really anything I would wanted to trade. And why I TP'd 40% here? First of all, it pumped like, yeah, almost 100% from my entry. And second of all, we broke like this, you see this aggressive uptrend, we broke it here. And then we made a low and everything. And I don't want to round trip this whole thing. So I TP'd 40%. And yeah, now it's pumping 40%. So I could beat myself up for doing the wrong thing. But in the end, it's about making profits and not about being perfect. Because perfection is a myth anyway. Just let me TP here. Mm-hmm. 40% on a day. I think the last time I saw 40% on a day for crypto was sometime in 2023 or something. All right. Did another 25% here. Just because it's wise to do that. And then I can think about adding back regardless. And I mean, we're still in high time frame discount, so the whole thesis still makes sense. Yeah, and it was definitely this here. And this one. So these are my main interests, bigger main interests. Because I said this one is going up aggressively, but it's also going down aggressively, and you don't want to see your gains vaporized. And in the end, I don't really care. I mean, it could 10x from here, yeah, right? Would be nice. But if it's not, I made gains. I locked in gains, and I'm happy. As said, I never regretted taking any profits, and you just need to be disciplined with them. And as said, I'm like happy that this happened. So I'm kind of emotional about this pump. But I won't act on this emotion. So I would never like push this trade higher, add more here or something stupid. But I think it's allowed to be happy with your trades. I mean, it should be fun as well. So yeah, it's doing great, and it's paying me well. And as said, I know the structure and the behavior of this one, so I'm trading this one with a lot more confidence than this one, because I don't really trust this one. I don't know, but I have a weird feeling about this, especially look at this chart. It's something I haven't ever seen before in this way. Yeah, so it's a very weird chart. I also heard very weird things about the volume, because the volume is rising significantly, but I heard something about a contract with some market maker and they create more or less artificial volume or something. So I don't trust this one very much. So rather safe than sorry, taking more TPs than less. And I have another play which is pretty much similar to this one. Same narrative at least, similar chart. Also great potential. And so, yeah, in the end, all of them are based on the S&P. And so as long as the S&P keeps on ripping, and as long as people tell me each week the market should correct soon because this is not sustainable. And to be honest, I still think myself that this is not sustainable. So this is pretty much a move that is going to retrace violently at some point. I mean, look at this whole move since April. It's steeper than 21, and this is very, like, everybody has 21 in mind and thinks like, oh, it was the everything pump, everything went ballistic. And look at this, it's way steeper, and yet I don't see any euphoria. And that is also the reason, because every week people tell me we need a pullback. This is why no real pullback happens. I mean, we had some, but this is like, compared to the whole move, it's very minor. And so, as said, I have my invalidation. I will build more cash should this change trend, and then usually we have a little more time left, like a little ranging or something at the top, but it doesn't need to happen. We could also correct very sharply, and this is why I want to build cash, especially on positions like these, like the ones I showed. Yeah, so much to stocks. Also, this one is entering the TP area, probably going to TP on this one as well, but I do it after the stream. On this one I have a little more time. It's obviously not as aggressive. Yeah, we have what is it called, Mind Medicine, also doing well, not stopped at break even, 44% since then, which is nice, or almost 50 already. So yeah, they're all doing great. So Altstockseason is fully in play still. See no reason to doubt that. Let's see what the Russell 2K does look like. Yeah, we make a new high. So the Russell 2K, I talked about this as well. The Russell 2K is at all-time high. The Russell 2K is like almost vertical. This level provided already 2 significant reactions. That's why I built it cash. But I also, as I said, I added back to Moderna because it's obviously in deep discount. Built some asset again. And now the question remains, can we reclaim this level? Can we break this level? And if we can, we will see how far momentum will carry us. And same story then on the SPX, just a little, like I give it a little less weight. But should the momentum fade, should the momentum break, I'm gonna step aside from my riskier positions, or at least building a little more cash, which is just wise. Gold still doing well. Crypto doing well as well, which is nice. Got stopped on the short here, like many people probably. Yeah, weekly level did not react at all. Yeah, got stopped on 0.5%. It's all right. I mean, that's why I managed risk. It was worth like hedging myself, and it could have worked as well. It's probabilities in the end. Yeah, Doge, I got front run. I did take the 4-day actually, or whatever it was. Yeah, it was the 4-day. I cut it just because ETH lost structure, and I thought, okay, good. So if ETH lost structure and we go to this level, I don't want to have this long anymore. And I thought maybe I add back at the demand. When ETH hits its demand, never happened. Too bad, but I have still my full spot exposure. I have my partial spot stop soft here, which is just risk management, right? Because I think from a time perspective, the market is pretty much done. We can, like price-wise, can a lot of things can happen in a very short period of time. But I don't wanna, like, if this whole level, like whatever it was a 7-day, I think. Yeah, the 7-day and the demand in general. If this would have not held here, and you see the next logical level would be this or even this. And as said, I think the market is pretty much done. So this is the last stage where usually the most returns are made, but also the highest risk, of course. And so I do not want to hold my back into a 30% drawdown and think about, oh, should I sell now? So my stop is here on spot and my spot TP is still here. I did a spot TP here as well. Did not add back this time, but that's okay. I used some of this money to scale up my stock account. And I will spot TP up here again, just because there is a level and I don't really care about my buys. Should it go higher, that's good. Should it not go higher, I'm happy. And after we reach this level, I will trail my stop a little more aggressive. So should we reach this, my stop will probably be way higher, because as I said, my whole macro thesis is that it's pretty much over soon. And the next retracement is going to be the big one. And then I don't want to have like so much Doge anymore. Yeah, BTC going for all-time highs, it seems. This time I want to short some kind of swing failure pattern, but I'm not very good at that. So I want to be completely honest with you guys. I would love to short those swing failure patterns or those all-time high sweeps and everything, but I have the tendency to fuck it up somehow. But this time I tried to get in a bigger swing short up here. Let's see what momentum, how far momentum can carry us. So I mean, obviously right now it's definitely going for a sweep. So I mean, we could like fuck around here a little bit, but I think the sweep is very likely, because why would they not take the liquidity above those highs? Looking at order flow during this whole move, I mean, there have been longs opening also on ETH, but pretty much a lot of shorts have opened into this move. And where do they put their stop loss? They put it above here, they put it above here, here, and here. And so I think it's very likely that we're going to take this liquidity. And I mean, BTC is almost there already. And so let's keep some alarms here. Once the sweep comes, I'm probably this time trying to swing short the all-time high. But as said, don't take my word for it and better don't copy me with that, because as said, I don't have a great track record trying to short swing failure patterns. Yeah, so that's pretty much it from my side. Yeah, we have this one. I know a lot of people are interested in this one as well, because Money Tower is talking about, or has talked about it. It's the one with the flying cars. It's a Chinese car manufacturer. And I like to look at the Hong Kong Stock Exchange chart for this one, just because oftentimes the reactions are a little cleaner. I started adding here because, as usual, we had this like downsloping stuff here. Come on, give me the rate. And it broke, and I started adding here. And it went higher, and I did actually, in fact, I think I wrote it down here. I did a 20% TP or something. Where's my TP? I did not write it on the chart, but I did update it in the group. So I did a 20% TP somewhere here, and my stop loss is at break even by now. So I won't allow another touch, just because this trend line became very obvious by now. And the more obvious a trend line becomes, the less likely it's going to work. Similar than here, it reacts, and then suddenly it doesn't react anymore. And we have a similar structure on the way up now. So I will probably, should we lose this trend line, I will probably cut the rest of my bag, or at least at break even, so I won't allow a drawdown on this one. And like with all of those plays, it's the higher time frame macro thesis that tells me what to do on all of them. Because if I think the market is going to keeps on ripping for a period of time, obviously I want to have long exposure to all those risk on assets. But if I think like, and which I do, that the market is pretty much done, and I mean, maybe the October will be still a good one, but I could also see like 50% of October is very green in a very short, violent way, only to like wreck everybody at the second half of October. So things move fast, especially risk stuff, especially crypto. So yeah, as said, everything is based on a higher time frame macro thesis. And so I locked in some gains here, and I won't allow this drawdown because I think the next big drawdown will be the bear market. And why would I want to hold a company like this into the bear market? Yeah, so invalidation is clear in this one. This one is actually started to move as well. Anti-aging company, Crisp. Similar story, I started adding here. I bought with profits from other plays here on this pullback, and now it's doing well since then. Yeah, we are entering the supply here. Didn't mark it out, but this is supply. And so it's probably wise to think about a TP here. The next logical level is here, so it's a range until it's not, and this is the same. The same is true for those. But as said, those stocks provide significant bounces, even if they're just range, and they're traded so much cleaner than altcoins. Yeah, so I can just recommend them, to be honest. I have taken this one also with the group. I tried to get in to this one because I really like the narrative around the stock, like those micro reactors and everything. I mean, it's just hype, so they don't actually provide anything so far, but it retraced 30%, so I thought it's maybe wise to look for a momentum entry, and I still think the market has a little time, so why not? And I added, like in this gap, I added a little trade with tight invalidation, TP'd here at 4R. Let's see how far I can push this trade. Stop is at break even. The gap is filled by now, so the trade that you basically played. But for now, it seems like it wants to go a little higher, but should we start losing this and should we roll over, I will probably TP another 20% or something here, and the rest might get stopped at break even, like the bigger one, like the higher time frame position as well. So as again, I don't allow a big drawdown on this one. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Everything interesting on stocks. I mean, yeah, crypto majors, the ETH D and ETH BTC levels provided a solid reaction, and the whole ETH reaction again came from ETH Euro, which is interesting. I mean, it was again reaction to the perfection. So I probably start really trading ETH on the Euro pair somehow. Because this is way cleaner than the USD pair as it seems. But yeah, other than that, crypto is looking great. I think BTC is actually going for all-time high. So this is basically an all-time high stream, right? Yeah, we will see. I will not gonna stare at the candles this evening. Okay, let's see what you guys said. Monday streams. Nice that you caught some of those stock plays. Yeah, Monday streams. I thought maybe Monday streams are good. I do this update on Monday anyway, so I thought maybe doing it in a video format because I wanna do more video content anyway, not just trading but in general. So this might be something. But I do this poll today, and then we see what is good for people. Because on Saturday usually it's just 2 or 3 people, and then I think like maybe we find a better day. Patiently waiting for the crypto spotlight. Yeah, I mean if this is not the spotlight right now, it's just once again it's not the thing that people expected, right? People are still like in the crappiest altcoins ever, and they're still doing basically nothing. And so the whole crypto space is in spotlight, isn't it? I mean, ETH is doing well, BTC is doing well, BTC is almost reaching all-time high, but again, people are just piled into crap again. And this is the trap again and again and again. And I think if you want to have insane performance, insane percentage gains, you should go for stocks. And if you want to like trade crypto, you should go for majors anyway. And the rest is like, it's nice to have exposure to those narratives because they will eventually, some things will pump out of nowhere like crazy, in my opinion. But maybe they won't, right? It could be that they just pump crazy out of nowhere, like doing insane access, like in just a few weeks or just a few days, or they won't. And I think just being in crypto and hoping for that is the big trap. This is why people don't make money in the markets, basically. And other than that, like I mean, if you bought BTC at this low or something, you're up 30%, which is not much, but it's still more than most altcoins did ever since then. Most altcoins are even lower. And so yeah, as I said, altcoins are the big trap of this whole market, of all markets, in my opinion. And if they ever had a time, it's probably very soon, or it's never, in my opinion. And so yeah, let's see. Momentum is there. BTC is leading the way, in my opinion. Looking very strong right now. And then let's see what after the sweep happens. Can we break the high or can we not break the high? That's the question. Only time will tell. Yeah, but I think, yeah, there are more questions. Snow is getting close to a short area. What the fuck is Snow? Is it a crypto coin, I guess, right? Snowflake, it's a stock. Never heard of it. Are we talking about the Snow? What do you want to short here? Like the supply or what do you want to short? Or this here? Yeah, I see, okay. I mean, why not? The level is there. It's in premium. Could work. Somewhere into this demand or here. But not something I'm interested in, to be honest. No clue. This chart does not look familiar to me. I like to play the same setups. To have like, I have my general idea of something, like into the band, trendline stuff, blah, higher time frame thesis, and the rest. Like, why would I play it if I don't like understand what it's based on? I mean, of course there's supply and everything, but I don't see a reason to take this trade. Not aligning with my edge. But why not? Levels there. If BTC dips here, thinking alts get wrecked, surely they have hardly moved along with it. Yeah, definitely alts are definitely not looking like this. And should it dip, should we reject or something? Yeah, alts are probably obliterated again. And so as said, I think alts are just the biggest trap of this whole cycle, of this whole market. And it's still nice to be exposed to this narrative, but yeah, compared to everything else one can do in the market, I think it's just the most energy robbing and time consuming and nerve wracking way of trying to make money in this market. And most people don't even make money and they're still getting nerve wracked and energy drained and everything. So what's the point with all of those altcoins? I think if we have like another outperformance of altcoins, it's going to be XRP, it's maybe going to be Doge, it's maybe going to be ETH one more time, maybe some other majors. I have no clue about Solana and ADA and all those. Not into them, but I think it's a very thin base, and then we have some sudden unexpected pumps on some narratives, where there is a big community still around those coins sometimes, but it's going to be violent, unpredictable, and fast. And so I said I'm exposed to some of this, but it's like 10 or 15, maybe 20% of my whole, only from my crypto portfolio, which is of my whole portfolio, it's maybe 5% or something. So I don't really care about this. So should all break down, should my market thesis tell me it's over, I'm gonna sell all of them, maybe for a profit, maybe for a loss. So I don't really care too much. As said, there's much more easy money made in stocks. And it's much more predictable. Okay, guys, any questions? Because if not, I'm gonna wrap up the stream. I'm glad that I exited my NVIDIA short around break even after the close above, by the way. So I shorted the 6 hour here, supply. It did this. I did not TP because I was treating it as a swing trade. It closed above, it retraced, I cut it around break even. And then I thought like, okay, that's it. And NVIDIA keeps on going higher. Also insane chart. I mean, look at this. NVIDIA from this monthly order block, I did not enter, by the way. I thought like, oh yeah, it's maybe going to a little bit lower, but I was stupid. And it 100, even more by now. It did like 120%, 120% for a blue chip stock. Why do people chase altcoins? I don't get it. 120%. And now you could take this profit and you can still rotate into some crap and think like, oh yeah, it's going to go like ballistic or something. And then you can compound those gains. But people start only with altcoins, the crappiest from the beginning. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. Yeah, so I think we're gonna sweep this high soon. First, I can't see the meme, by the way, but I can read Julian, who is gay, you are a gay gif. So I'm actually happy that I can't see it. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna wrap up the stream. I wish you all a great Friday evening. Enjoy your time, enjoy your weekend. Take some time off, and we talk next week. Bye bye.